It's no secret that this is the busiest time of the year for most businesses. Black Friday and Cyber Monday, with Christmas right around the corner, it's wild. And for business owners, it can be stressful as hell. It is so critical to have the tools in place to keep your business on track during the busiest time of year. A crash point of sale system or inaccurate inventory could be devastating. You need to make sure you're ready for whatever comes your way during the busiest weekend of the year, and that is why you need Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to entrepreneurs who will be participating in their first Black Friday Cyber Monday this year. And Shopify doesn't just do sales. They have thousands of website templates and tools to help make creating a sharp and functional website as easy as possible. Their marketing tools will help you and your business stand out in the chaos that is holiday advertising. Their expedited checkout Shop Pay has been proven to boost conversions, which means less abandoned carts and more profits. And it's all backed up by Shopify's award-winning 24/7 support team. If you want to give your customers the best experience possible this holiday season, you need Shopify. This Black Friday, join the thousands of new entrepreneurs hearing for the first time with Shopify. Sign up for your free trial today at shopify.com/RTG. That's shopify.com/RTG. Go to shopify.com/RTG and make this Black Friday one to remember. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 356, and it is another one of our prestigious Patreon poll winning episodes as I plow through the backlog of poll winners that built up while I was trying to finish GTA 5 and Fire Emblem and the horror games for October. Suddenly I sound like Mo Sizlek. The horror games from October, Homer. Anyways, this time around, as you may or may not have guessed from the title of the episode and the music that just played and the godliness of my voice, we are talking God of War Part 2 for the PlayStation 2. And to be fair, technically I played the HD PS3 version, but same angry guy, slightly better graphics, different system. I played and loved both of the modern God of War games when they dropped on PS4 and PS5, both spectacular, must plays in my opinion. I think God of War is the best game on the PS4. I think it's pretty fucking good. Anyways, I played both the modern games, loved them, but I never played the OG games back in the day. As I've explained in the past, if you're new to the show, I missed most of the PlayStation 2 era. That was my wild and crazy guy, early 20s. I was out at the bars and stuff like that. But I gotta say, man, I'm starting to understand why the PS2 sold so many units. And units. And it wasn't just a DVD player. Every time I go back and play a game I missed from the PlayStation 2, I'm just a little bit more fond of that black box. And it's wild, but listen to the list of games for the PS2 that I've played for the first time since I started this podcast. Bully, God of War 1, God of War 2, Ratchet & Clank, Shadow of the Colossus, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Sly Cooper, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, the Metal Gear Solids. The list goes on. And if you're thinking, what the fuck kind of retro gaming podcast have I stumbled into here where the host didn't play PS2? I did play PS2. I just mostly was playing GameCube and Xbox in this era when I was gaming. So I missed a lot of the PS2 exclusives. And it's been an absolute blast catching up. I got to tell you, between the PlayStation 2 and the Sega Genesis, two of the highlights of doing Remember the Game for the last 7 years for me have been firing up these games that for the very first time and seeing what I missed out on when I was busy with Mario and Friends or Halo or what have you. So anyways, God of War 2, that's the latest one added to this list of games that I found for the first time, and it is very, very good. My guest this week is the what did I call him? We already did the game chat portion. What did I call him? The talking wise head on my ass to my Kratos. I think that's what I called him. My buddy Stpd Mnky, he was my guest for the original God of War episode, which was Remember the Game 161, if you want to go back and check that out. And he is back and better than ever for God of War Part 2. Fair warning, we are going to be spoiling this game, talking about the ending, the characters, the boss fights, my hopes for Part 3, and basically just everything that makes God of War 2 such a neat little package. And we're going to get to all that in just a few minutes, because speaking of a neat little package, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. Consider this your warning. Our intros are kind of long, but they're not that long. They're kind of long, but they're fun. We talk video games and stuff, and getting through them requires precisely 0 quick time events. You just through it, and it's done. It's awesome. If you do want to skip it, though, go to about the 30-minute mark on your slider, and you'll be into the game chat. Or if you want to sign up for our Patreon, I got to do my plug. Let me keep my bills on. Let me do my plug right now, and then I'll save it for the end of the show. We offer every Remember the Game 100% ad-free with timestamps. And for those asking why I don't put timestamps on the free feeds, it's because we do play a couple of ads, as you've probably already heard, and the length of those ads are so off the wall and different that like the timestamps will be fucked. So that's why I tell you, I'm pretty good at timing it out to about 30 minutes. Or just become a patron for just as $3 a month and get every single episode, 356 and counting, ad-free with timestamps, because there's no ads to fuck up the timestamps over there. Not only that, but we publish 4 additional shows every week. None of those have ads either. You can start listening for as little as $3 a month. You can also write into the show, vote on the games we cover, join our 1,000+ member Discord, get instant access to hundreds upon hundreds of archive bonus podcasts the second you sign up, and most importantly, you get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm about to do to these people. No, I'm going to nail all 3 of these. A huge thank you to our newest patrons, Ollie Townsend, Bermuda Penguin 07, and Zach Murray. 1, 2, 3, pacha. Thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries. You can find all of that information at patreon.com/rememberthegame. There's also some free Patreon episodes over there for you to try out if you just want to see how the whole system works there. Plus, we donate 5% of it to the Stollery Children's Hospital. So if you sign up, you're helping the kids. Plus, if you sign up for a year, you'll get a month on the house, because I'm a good guy like that. So pretty well is how we keep our bills on around here. So patreon.com/rememberthegame if you are interested. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Ida Hoju, who said, debating about definitions. While listening to the most recent expansion pass, the question of what an RPG is came up a bunch. So let's say you're playing a modern sports game in season mode. You progress through the game, gaining experience, winning battles, even customizing your character with the ultimate goal of beating the game. Insert any game genre by this definition: first-person shooters, third-person action, open world, whatevers. You are playing a role in a game. My point is, definitions are subjective. Play by your own rules and define games however you want. Keep playing and don't be held to anyone's definitions. Good advice for life in general. P.S. I am a huge RPG fan, whatever the definition. I like that. Well said, Ida Hoju. I really like the point of keep playing play by your own rules and define life however you want. I like that idea. If you're not sure what we're talking about, especially with the Blankies now being, that's our annual game award show, being just, oh my God, about 6 weeks away. Oh my God, I got to get writing. The hardest topic, the hardest award of the year to give away is RPG of the year. Because at this point, I ask you, friends, what do you think makes an RPG? Like, it used to be easy. When we were playing Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, we knew what the RPGs were. Final Fantasies, Chrono Triggers, Phantasy Stars. Those were the RPGs. But now it's like, is Zelda an RPG? Is Fallout an RPG? Is a sports game an RPG? Am I an RPG? Are you an RPG? I don't even know what the fuck makes an RPG anymore. Like, it used to just be, it had to be about like magic and swords and that kind of stuff, but it's just expanded so much. And does it not, I ask you this, friends, does it not feel like within the next 10 years, every game will be considered an open world roguelike with RPG elements, survival, co-op, online, live service, horror game? Like, that's just every game seems to be like, the lines are blurring between the genres. That's why I like Mario. He stays in his fucking lane. He doesn't do RPGs. Except Mario RPG. And Paper Mario. And the Mario and Luigi's. Fuck. Mario Tennis on the GBA was kind of an RPG. Sonic's done an RPG. Fuck, who hasn't done it? Crash Bandicoot. God bless Crash Bandicoot. Has he ever been in an RPG? I'm going to Google that right now, because if I fucking say he hasn't, someone will write in and be like, actually, in fucking Vietnam in 2001, Crash was in a mobile game that many considered an RPG. Crash Bandicoot RPG. AI overview. There is no official Crash Bandicoot RPG, but the concept is popular among fans with many fan-made ideas. Dude, I'd play a Crash Bandicoot RPG. That would be fucking pretty sick. Crash Bandicoot's the best. I love Crash. We got to get some more Crash on this show soon. Anyways, let's keep the ball rolling. Keep it moving here. Well said, Idaho Jew. Good start to the show this week. Grimmies wrote in and said, hello, Mr. Blank. So my understanding is you prefer shorter JRPGs. So when are you covering the GOAT of the PlayStation, Xenogears? I'm just kidding. That game is like 80 hours. I have 2 quick questions. 1, I know you love Mega Man, but I thought you hated bosses. What's up with that? I don't know if that's supposed to be a Hurricane reference, but that's how I heard it in my head. 2, you sometimes mention that you want to do another podcast if you had time. Have you considered reviewing South Park episodes? Have a fantastic day. You as well, Grimmies. So to answer your questions, number 1, I know you love Mega Man, but thought you hated bosses. What's up with that? You know, I'm starting to rethink my I hate bosses stance. Because more and more people are pointing out that, like, dude, you love Cuphead, you love Mega Man, you play all these games with boss fights. So I'm going to walk the I hate bosses thing back and say, by and large, the thing I hate about boss fights is, 1, I hate when I'm like in the flow of a game and I'm into the story or whatever the fuck. And then all of a sudden we have to stop and just fight one enemy for like 10 minutes. And I particularly hate just boring bullet sponge bosses. By and large, they annoy me. Again, Cuphead is the difference. And that pulls into the second and probably broader part of what I hate about boss fights. I hate 3D boss fights. Like 2D, like Cuphead, are fine. I'm not as good at 3D games as I am 2D games. I don't know if it's just the old time in me. I don't know if it's that I'm blind in an eye, so I don't have the depth perception. Maybe I just have to get good. But I'm just not as good at 3D games as I am at 2D games. So those are the boss fights that I hate. But it's a fair criticism. And then number 2, you mentioned that you want to do another podcast if you had time to consider reviewing South Park. I have. We do 5 shows a week, and I've got like 3 or 4 ideas for additional shows. I'd love to do an indie game show. I'd love to do a draft. I'd love to do a draft podcast, which is every week we draft something random. I would love to do a South Park podcast. I'd love to do a King of the Hill podcast, a Futurama podcast. I'd kind of like to do a wrestling podcast. It's just at 5 a week and then trying to have a social life. I just can't. I think I already think we're a quantity over quality show at times. And the quality would just dip even further. So never say never, but for the time being, I think we're pretty set with 5. Vic to the face said, Adam Blank, it's Blank Friday right away. I mean Black Friday. I always use this time of year to stack my backlog with games that slipped by at launch because I was busy doing something else. Do you buy games on sale this time of year? And if so, what's on your radar this time around? I picked up God of War Ragnarok and Final Fantasy Rebirth for dirt cheap. 2 games I missed because they released when I was busy with Elden Ring and Yakuza. I am very excited to finally jump in. Nice, Vic to the face. Yes, it is Black Friday week. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow to all you Yankee bastards on the other side of the fence. I may not be able to come over for some turkey, but I fully intend to take advantage of your all-day football tradition. I think I've said it many times, man. Canada does Thanksgiving at a better time. We do in October. You guys do in November, and then in a month you need to do another turkey. It's too close. But you guys do Thanksgiving better than us. And you have Black Friday right afterwards, which is mwah. I have shopped the PSN and Xbox Marketplace a bit, in case anyone's wondering what I've picked up right now. On the PlayStation Store, I grabbed Silent Hill F, which I've been wanting to get around to playing anyways because I love Silent Hill. And then I did scoop Red Dead Redemption 2 for $20. I'm not saying I'm ever going to play it, but I want to, kind of. Red Dead 1 is coming to PS Plus in the next week or so, and I'd really love to find time to play that for RTG in the next year. And I'm hoping if it clicks that I want to play Red Dead 2. So I spent $20 on that. And then on Xbox, I picked up both the Blasphemous games for pennies on the dollar because they're from the studio that made Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and I fucking love that game. It's one of the best games of the year. I've got Death Road to Canada for $4. I don't even really know what it is, but I'm Canadian, wanted to support my country, and many of our roads are death roads. I picked up the complete edition of The Witcher 3 for $12. I've tried to play it 5 times. I really like it. I get 30 hours in, and then I just get busy with other things, and I'll probably do it again. And I finally rolled the dice on South Park Snow Day. It was finally discounted enough that I was like, I'm going to see if it sucks as much as everybody says it is. I'll probably scroll through and get a couple more things before it's done. I want to get Loop Hero on my Nintendo Switch, and I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on Star Wars Outlaws now that it's discounted 80%, but I'm not sure yet. So, yeah, happy Black Friday, everybody. Go do some shopping. Dr. Link said, "Hi Adam, let's talk spiritual successor games. No one has ever lived up to has anyone ever lived up to the hype for you? Back for Blood? No. Callisto Protocol? No. Although I thought this one was okay. Ukulele? No. I'm at the point now where when I hear a game is a spiritual successor or sequel to something I love from the past, I prime myself for disappointment, not hype." That is true. Back for Blood was supposed to be the new Left 4 Dead and it let me down. Ukulele was supposed to be the new Banjo-Kazooie and it let me down. Callisto Protocol was supposed to be the new Dead Space and it let me down. So you are right on all three of those. Although I do think Callisto Protocol was the best of those three. The one I will say is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, not Ritual of the Night. Now, I'm going to point out Ritual of the Night as well because they're on sale right now. If you haven't played them, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a modernized version, a tip of the cap to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I played through it, and I thought it was okay. I don't love Symphony of the Night. I know it's a hot take, but I don't. It's fine, but I don't love it. I respect it more than I love it. Ritual of the Night was okay. But Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, I haven't played the second one, but the first one is like a homage to the 8-bit Castlevanias, particularly Castlevania 3, and it is fucking awesome. So if you're a fan of good 8-bit games, I can't recommend Bloodstained Curse of the Moon enough. That's probably the spiritual successor that's most nailed the landing for me. Sexton Hardcastle said, "Hey Adam, if there was a game or game series you could experience again for the first time, what would it be? Meaning everything about that game or series is wiped from your memory other than the desire to play it. I think mine would be the Uncharted games. I remember enjoying its gameplay and story so much when I was younger. I even spontaneously clapped after beating the second game. The only time I've ever done that. Other than that, give my regards to the new CEO. Sincerely, Sexton Hardcastle." Yes, it is an Edge reference. I fucking knew it. So, Sexton Hardcastle is a better name than Cope. I'm sorry. Cope is a horrible name. I fucking hate that name. I hate that. Go Adam Copeland. Cope is... Anyways. If I could... my first thought was Mario. Because I would love... Like, I'm playing this Mario ROM hack. It's the first time I've experienced a ROM hack. It's the second Reality Project. It's a Super Mario World ROM hack. And it's fucking incredible. I adore it. And I'm like, man, what I wouldn't give to be able to play all the Mario games for the first time. But I don't know. I've put so many hours into the Mario games over the years that I don't know if I'm willing to throw away all my skill. It's like the only series I'm good at. So like, I would love to experience them for the first time again, but I also don't want to have to get good again. So I think I'm going to say The Last of Us, just because I'm such a big fan of those games. And to learn that, but I don't consider myself particularly good at them. So to be able to experience that story again for the first time, I'll go with The Last of Us. Hooley's Gang of Thugs said, "Adam, my good sir, the last day of fall is December 20th. And in the Nintendo 64 draft last year, you said the PS1 draft may be in the fall. Is this still a possibility?" Yeah, it's a secret. Shut up. Shout out to when he gets that reference. But keep your eyes to the skies. Hooley's Gang. We still got a month. Keep your eyes to the skies. And finally, before we move on, it's letter time. It's letter time. Works for me. Said, "Hello, Mr. Blank. As I've recently started game collecting, I must pick your brain about something that's driving me nuts. I constantly see loose carts or discs for sale, but I also see people just selling manuals or cases. It's so frustrating when I have to participate in 2 or 3 separate transactions to acquire one full game. Any advice for someone dipping their toe into the game collecting pond? Always appreciate your content and hope you and the fam enjoy the upcoming holiday season." That's nice. Welcome back to the world of game collecting. It's a game that I say it all the time. If you're a game collector and you're like, I don't know if I need these anymore, I'm thinking about selling them. If you needed to sell them to pay a bill or something, sell them. Take care of your family. Make sure you got food in your stomach. But if you're just selling them because you're like, I don't know if I want to look at these anymore, I'm begging you, don't do it. Don't sell them, because I sold my game collection. It was before we bought our first house, which was 5 + 8 + 1, 14 years ago. So I was collecting games about 15 years ago, and I sold my collection, and my God, what I wouldn't give to have that collection back and have been growing for the last 15 years. Kicking me in the teeth. So first and foremost, for game collectors, don't sell your collections. I recently got back into it in the last year or two, just because I've been slowly buying up games for the podcast to play them, and then I'm like, man, this is fun. My advice for collectors, now that I'm there, other than not selling your collection, number 1 is pick a focus. Don't just, if you want to be crazy, be crazy. But my recommendation is pick a focus. Either focus on a console, focus on a series, focus on a theme. Like, I love wrestling games. I'm always buying new wrestling games. and try to be kind of dedicated, because it's a very expensive hobby. And before you know it, you'll be in over your head just buying everything you can get your fucking hands on. And then you'll be like, I don't even know what, I don't even know what to do with all of this stuff. So that's my suggestion. Like, I personally, while I collect for the GameCube, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, PS1, and PS2 as well, and Genesis a little bit, my focus right now is the NES. And my goal is to just get every game that I like on the NES. I want like not a full NES collection, but a full, these are the games that I know I'll play again. I'm not going to drop $50 on a game I'll never play. I want to buy a collection of stuff I like, then I'm going to move on to the Super Nintendo, and so on and so forth. That's my first piece of advice. And then as far as people selling stuff separately, it's not a big thing up here as far as like disc games. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a place, like, I've seen places that are selling just the discs because they just don't have the case or the manual, but I've never seen them like, hey, I don't even know what it goes for right now, so I'm just pulling it like Resident Evil on PS1. The disc is $40, the manual is $20, the case is $20. Like, I've never seen that. If that is the case, then I guess it just comes down to, no pun intended, then it just comes down to what you want to do. There are a lot of people up here that sell NES and Super Nintendo games complete in box, and some sell them separate. Then it just comes down to how much is that worth to you. I highly recommend Price Charting. It's a great website to give you a ballpark idea of what things are worth these days. But I don't collect complete. Sega Genesis, I would love to have all my games complete in those plastic cases because I love those clamshell cases. And then everything disc-based, I like to at least have a case around it. But my Nintendo and Super Nintendo and 64 and stuff, I'm like, I don't care about the boxes or the manuals. I just want to play the games. I would like, because a box can be like fucking $30, $40, $50 more if it's a rare box. And I'm like, I could spend that on a couple more games I'd rather play. So my suggestion is just pick a focus and then just decide, as far as boxes and cases go, are they worth something to you? If they are, then spend the extra money. But if they're not, and for my money, they aren't. They're cool. I love looking at them. But they're just not. I would rather spend that extra money on more games. So good luck. Don't sell your collections unless you need to eat. All right? That's going to do it. Okay, we got to move on here. Thanks so much to everybody that wrote into the show as always. Let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. Play one, remake one, erase one. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our Patreons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there's a right one. We'll get there in a second. This week we're talking God of War 2 on the PS2, so I went with 3 of the PS2's all-time greats: Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Final Fantasy X, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And this was very close, but 1/3, 33%, said they would play Final Fantasy X, remake Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and erase Metal Gear Solid 2. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Slapnuts McGonagall, I love that name. Do it for me. McGonagall said, I've got to go with playing GTA. Shout out to him who gets that reference, by the way. I got to go with playing GTA because we can't get rid of the classic meme of 2 number 9s and number 9 large. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that means. I'm such a I don't know what 6-7 is. I don't know what this one is. The only meme I know from GTA is, oh shit, here we go again. I don't know anything. Anyways, I got to go with playing GTA because we can't get rid of the classic meme of 2 number 9s and number 9 large, and then remake Final Fantasy X because I love the Final Fantasy franchise, and this game would moisten my undergarments with a fresh coat of modernism. And that leaves erasing Metal Gear Solid. Never played it, and you can't make me. Fair enough. I normally advocate for keeping the game you haven't played, but if you're attached to the other two, then all right. Fair enough. I would like to. I'll tell you my answer in a minute. I'll get there in a minute. Yuppers said, play Final Fantasy X. I played a year ago and actually beat this one. It was my first Final Fantasy game. I even played 10-2 afterwards. Turn-based combat like that is not my flavored tea. Remake GTA because it could use it the most. Don't change the gameplay, just modernize it with graphics and a few quality of life improvements. And delete Metal Gear Solid. I've only played the 3rd entry and it was fun, but the cutscenes, my God. I will agree that Metal Gear Solid has more cutscenes, but I will counter that Final Fantasy X has a worse cutscene. And I don't want to hear it from the people that stick up for Titus and the laugh, and they're like, that was the point. It was supposed to be cringy. It was too cringy. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I hate that fucking laugh. Also, fucking whatever his name was, the big blue wolf sucks. I can't remember his name now. Kamari? I'm blanking on it anyway. SSJ Wheel 4 said, play Metal Gear Solid 2 as I enjoy the fixed camera angles from the early MGS games, and MGS1 already got a remake that I thought was very subpar. Remake Final Fantasy X, as Square Enix has already shown us with Final Fantasy VII Remake that the remakes can be masterclass, and I'd love to revisit any other Golden Year FF games given a similar remake treatment. I'll agree with that statement. And then Erased GTA San Andreas says, although I've never played it, I have played a good chunk of GTA 3 and Vice City, and I plan to play GTA 5 when I revisit the series. Additionally, with GTA 6 on the horizon, I doubt I'll ever get around to playing it anyways. See, that's where I can live with the logic of erasing a game you've never played. If you're like, dude, I'm going to play a bunch of the other ones. There's another one coming out soon. I'm never going to have time for this. I can get on board with that. I'm so glad that I have played GTA San Andreas 4 and 5 over the last 5 or 6 years. Because, yeah, when are you going to, time? It's all about the time. And now I'm excited for GTA 6. They got me. I'm in. I'm on board. I'm excited. Kuala France said, strong start, or start strong. Erase GTA because I hate all the GTA games, including Red Dead, I'm sorry, Grand Theft Horsey, and the world would be a better place with them gone. Ooh, it's a hot take. Play Final, maybe not wrong though, I don't know. Play Final Fantasy X because if you remade it, then you'd either be recreating the psychotic laughing or getting rid of it, and both would be criminal. And then remake Metal Gear Solid 2, but only a single change. Plaster dedicated to Adam Blank in every possible facet of the game. Bam, instant platinum. Love your work, Blanca. Keep it up. I've never been called Blanca. I like that. I am angry and kind of green. I like that. But I don't want my fucking name in Metal Gear Solid 2. I can tell you that right fucking now. And then Osama bin Laden said, finally a choice where I've played and beaten all 3. Play San Andreas, it's still good, no notes. Remake Metal Gear Solid 2. I did not like it, but it could work well if Kojima wasn't wanking all over it. High-tension military espionage is a great jumping-off point for a game. Delete Final Fantasy X. I found it middling at best. I could never understood the praise it gets, especially compared to the high-water mark of Final Fantasy XII. Dude, someday, mark my words, kids, someday, we are going to do a ranking episode of the Final Fantasy games. Once I play, at least attempt to play 2, 3, 10, 2, 12, and 13. Those are ones I still need to get through. Then we're going to at least try them. Then we're going to do a ranking episode. And that is going to be, feelings will be hurt that day, my friends. Everyone's got an attachment to a Final Fantasy. I don't know if I'd find Final Fantasy X, but I don't think it's as good as the glory days, which is 4 through 9. I agree with that. Anyways, I'm going with 20% of you. The runner-up option went the same vote I did. As did that dude Jake, who said play GTA because it's the best one and better than the remake anyways. Remake Metal Gear Solid 2 because it's my favorite Metal Gear and I'd love to see it with modern graphics. And erase Final Fantasy X because I have to follow the rules and I never got to this one on my backlog anyways. Same law order, different logic for me. I'm going to play GTA San Andreas. I really wanted to remake San Andreas, clean up the controls, and get rid of the RC plane stuff, which is by far that game's biggest fault. But I couldn't waste my remake on just getting rid of a couple of remote control plane missions when there's 2 other games I'd like to remake more. So I'm going to play San Andreas, and then I flip-flop back and forth because I don't notoriously like the Metal Gear Solid games. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to remake Metal Gear Solid 2 because this was where I soured on the series, okay? I liked Metal Gear Solid 1. On the PS1. We did a review of it. I thought that was like the most insane game I'd ever played back when I played it. But then Metal Gear Solid 2, I don't know. I didn't like the story. I didn't like the controls. I fucking hated the bait and switch of not playing as Snake. This was where the series lost me. So I'm just going to start over from scratch and somehow remake it into a game I like. And then maybe it just changes the timeline and we exist in a different universe where I actually like the Metal Gear Solid games. And then I'm going to erase Final Fantasy X because while I don't dislike it, I don't know if I would choose to play it over 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So I've got 6 other ones. I don't need 10 anymore. Anyway, that'll do it. Thanks everybody that wrote in to play along as always. What have I been playing over the last week? And then we are getting into God of War 2 talk. I've been playing mostly, dude, Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm creeping up on 65 hours, finally into Act 3. Haven't looked up anything. Loving it. Man, what a game. Holy fuck. That Act 3 is tough, though. Also playing Ghost of Yotai. I can't remember. Yotai, I think. It took a while to grab me just because it wasn't Ghost of Tsushima, but now it's got me. And I think it's as good as Ghost of Tsushima. I don't understand the outrage about it online. I think it's fantastic. I think it's probably my top 3 games of the year right now. Ghost of Yote. It's fucking sick. I actually just rolled credits on Batman Arkham City this morning. I'm still going to go back and do at least some of the side stuff. I want to do all the side criminal stuff and finish it up. I did all the Riddler trophies when I played it for the first time back in the day, but I'm not going for all the Riddler trophies again. Just enough to do like a full review of it on an RTG in the next couple of weeks. And then I've been playing that Super Mario World ROM hack I picked up at a game sale that's been fucking awesome. Very, very good. Very, very good. For everyone that's been telling me to play ROM hacks for a long time, my two hesitations have been, one, they're time sinks, and like I'm not going to do a remember the game about it. So I'm like, what do I do with this? But they're just fun. And then two, I hate fucking with emulation and I don't want to play on my PC. But I bought like a physical cartridge at a store or at a sale, and I'm playing it on my Super Nintendo, and I fucking love it. And I gotta have to buy more of these cartridges now. So that's what I've been playing, okay? All right, let's get out of here. We'll let a sponsor in here. They will do their thing, and when we get back, it is all about God of War 2, okay? Remember, the game will return after these messages.
Betrayed by the gods and cast into Hades, Kratos must now do like no other before him, alter his fate and bring the gods back down to earth. God of War 2. The end begins.
Rated M for mature.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's the final days of our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
All right, let's get into some God of War 2 talk. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guest tonight hog the microphone. No shortage of comments, as always. This is one of the classics. Let's see what some of you had to say here. Manitoba-style ginger ale. Toba said, what? One of the reasons I love this show is because it encourages me to go back and play games I otherwise probably would never go back to. I'm currently doing this with Arkham City. I did it with God of War, and I did it with God of War 2. This game shone like a sun made of Trish Stratus ass-like allure. Trish Stratus-like allure, ass-like. Well, I mean, Trish Stratus ass. Anyways, this game shone like a sun... This game shone like a sun made of Trish Stratus-like allure at the time of release. Jesus Christ. But playing it now, knowing what we know about Kratos' character development makes the original trilogy even more impactful, especially in the case of number 2. We start to see Kratos' past choices come home to roost, and how his previous ways of dealing with things only tends to make things worse. It lends so much more depth to the future Kratos' decisions making with his son and the Norse gods. The combat hasn't aged as bad as I thought it would, but some of the level traversal can be extremely frustrating. Still a stellar game and easily one of the best PS2 games ever made. I agree with practically every word of that. Not to spoil my review, except for maybe the Trish Stratus thing, because that's just, I couldn't pronounce that properly. But Manitoba style ginger ale, Toba. Well said. Especially, like, we're going to talk a little bit about the modern games, and yeah, like the difference. It's fucking crazy. Too Old for Hard Mode said, the game was one of the best on the PS2 and I love it, but it's also part of my hate for quick time events and boss fights. Most weren't bad, but I remember the final boss fight being so quick on the QTE. At least you started over right before the fight when you lost. I replayed it recently on PS Plus and it seemed even harder, probably due to Bluetooth and the streaming lag, and definitely not to my reactions being slower. No. Not at all. I will say, though, I agree. We talk about that end boss fight in the thing, and dude, that final boss fight, I must have died. I consider myself fairly good at quick time events. And I like quick time events. I know some don't. I do. But that final fight with Zeus, I must have died there a dozen times. But, I mean, you'll hear about it. You'll hear about it. But I think they did it very well. We'll get into that. Tins. So God of War 2 is an example of how to make a phenomenal sequel. Maybe one could argue it's just more of the same. For one, that's not a bad thing in this case. Secondly, the story progression and delivery is almost unmatched in gaming to date, with a cliffhanger ending that once left me salivating for a third entry for far too long. There isn't a single bad God of War game. This isn't even close to being an exception. Every gamer needs to experience the God of War series, old and new. Yeah, the only cliffhanger I can think of that irritates me more than this one is Halo 2. And I won't go any further than that because I know some people are going to discover Halo for the first time. Halo 2 will leave you like with blue balls, but it was worth it. It was worth it in the end. But this cliffhanger, I can't wait to see how it ends now. I'm intrigued. Alex Johnson said one of the few great PS2 games that came out after the PS3 launched. It really set up Kratos' motivation for revenge that would carry over into Part 3. Great gameplay, amazing music, and a gripping story. I still think this was the golden era of gaming. I didn't realize till after we recorded that this came out after the PS3 launched. I love when games do that. Like when you get a last minute squeaker in after a last minute one in after the next one drops, the next system, and then you're like, holy fuck, that's what this thing was capable of? Fucking crazy. I disagree wholeheartedly on this being the golden era of gaming, but that's a debate for another day. Gerg Schlongmelon said God of War was one of the first of the series that revitalized my love of gaming. I played through the first and then God of War 2 immediately afterward. The action and complete power fantasy of being Kratos and acting his revenge was such an exhilarating experience. I wish I could go back and play it again for the first time. I'll tell you, playing it for the first time is pretty great. I'm there. It's pretty great. And Raph is my favorite turtle, not Donnie. Said, man, this is such an incredible sequel. The opening and ending, or the opener and the ending may be my favorite of the series. Having the classic Metroid trope of losing all your powers and being cast into hell after being betrayed by Zeus was just such a let's fucking go moment. And spoilers, but the end scene of, I'm not going to say what that was, just in case people want to listen to the intro and not have the whole game spoiled. So I'm not going to say that. I know I've spoiled that, like, it's a cliffhanger, but I haven't said how it ends. But the end scene was a cliffhanger I wasn't even mad about. 10 out of 10. I wasn't mad, but I think I would have been mad had this come out. Like, had I played it at launch and had to wait years for Part 3, much like Halo 2 back in the day, I might have been a little bit chapped. But now that I could play Part 3 anytime I want, I'm like, no, that was a great ending, and I can't wait to play Part 3. And it's time to talk about Part 2. We'll talk about Part 3 someday down the road, but it's time to talk about Part 2. Stupid Monkey and I are going to talk God of War 2. I'm going to cue up some music, and when it stops, we're going to take you back to March 13th. Of 2007 and talk God of War 2 for the PS2. Enjoy the episode, everybody. Here we go. All right, joining me via the blank phone on a very, very frosty Thursday morning, at least here at Edmonton, to talk God of War 2 is the talking wise head on my ass to my Kratos. I couldn't think of the guy's name. It's been a couple years since I played the new ones. Anyways, it's
Mimir, but yeah, that's a few years away.
Well, I was gonna go the Atreus to my Kratos, which also is not yet, at least not as a God of War 2. But then I was like, no, I like the talking head on the ass. We'll go with that.
Yeah, Mimir is better. I love Atreus, but yeah, also again, like we said, not really this game.
No, talking head ass. Anyways, how's it going, buddy? How are you?
Pretty good. I've got a coffee. I've got no pants on. It's good.
That's how we roll at RTG Industries.
Yep.
God of War 2. This one won our Patreon poll a few months ago. I've been trying to get to it forever. I do have to quickly just shout out longtime Patreon Adam he sent me a copy of like the HD collection years ago, and I'm a slow piece of shit that took me forever to play it, so I apologize. But now that I finally have, I get it. So this was technically a PS2 game.
Right? Originally, yeah.
Yeah.
I replayed it on the collection there.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot of what got upgraded, if anything, from that one, aside from maybe a slight graphic upgrade.
Yeah, that's my understanding, is like just facelift and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I don't think there's too many major differences. So I've never technically played the PS2 version. I have played the PS3 version of the PS2 version, and I got to tell you, buddy, maybe my new favorite PS2 game. Maybe
it's up there for me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the first one was already up there, and I think this one is just everything the first one did, this one does, and a little bit better.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I remember when we reviewed the first one. It was in the last year or two anyway. And I thought the first one was very good because I've played the two modern God of Wars, and that was my only introduction to this, my only experience with the series. And then I went back and played the very first one, and I was like, okay, I get, like, it explains like how he becomes the God of War and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, this is really cool. I really enjoyed that. I don't want to sound like I'm dunking on God of War 1 because I'm not, but God of War 2 showed me the warts that God of War 1 had. Like,
Yes.
had I never played God of War 2, I would have been like, dude, God of War 1 is a fucking really good game. And I still think it's a good game. But now that I've played God of War 2 and I don't have to go through any fucking segments where I need to fight the ghost of my dead wife 300 fucking times and that kind of stuff, I'm like, no, this is better. Like,
No, this one has a whole different bullshit thing at the end.
which we will get to, yes. But it's just, I thought the pacing, like the story in both, I thought were good. Like, I enjoy the story, even though I don't know. And I know every time we talk God of War, people write in and they're like, you need to learn the gods. I even made
No,
a
you don't.
conscious effort to try to learn the gods' names in this one. And all I remember are Kratos and Zeus. I'm sorry. I tried. I don't
Honestly,
know.
that's all that's important for this one. I mean, I can tell you who they were, but God, the Kratos, Zeus, and the Fates. That's all you need to know.
Right. Yeah.
That covers everything that's important.
But I also think it's a little bit of a tip of the cap to how good this game is, that despite the fact that even with a conscious effort to learn the characters, I don't give a fuck about the characters. I still was just so invested with this story. Like I've said in the intro, we're going to have spoilers. I was so invested in this story because like, I love that it picks up right after the first one.
Yeah.
And like Kratos is like a fucking power mad god now, and a fucking, and then Zeus comes down and fucks him over with that sword and kills him and takes his fucking powers away. And right out of the gate, that really intrigued me because, I mean, you and I are both big Metroid fans. You're a bigger Metroid fan than I, but we're both big fans of Metroid as well. And it's funny when you play a new game in the Metroid series because you're like, how are they going to justify Samus losing all of her powers now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like this one, you start all godly and powerful, and then it gives a very good reason why you lose it at the beginning.
Yeah, which I'm a huge sucker for those little things. And yeah, like out of the gate, you are a god. Like you're just like when you're doing the like, the tutorial part where they're like press X to do an attack, and this kind of shit or whatever the fuck, and they're teaching like the basic moves of the game. And I was like, man, I wonder like what they're gonna throw at me for enemies in this one that could possibly stand up to a dude with as powerful as Kratos. And then within the first like hour, Zeus fucks you over with that sword and kills you and takes all your powers away. And then you're just back to being this angry guy with 2 knives on his arms. And I was like, what a brilliant, I mean, maybe brilliant isn't the term, but what a very, very satisfying way to make me not vulnerable again, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was really cleverly done.
Yeah, it was. And then you play through the whole game, like reacquiring powers and picking up new powers and new weapons and stuff. And I loved it. I thought that was such a great, not only was it a great story aspect to take away the powers, but I love the idea that like you're dead. And then you like basically like come back and you're like, and now I'm on board. Like much like in the first game, I'm on board. I'm like, Kratos has some anger problems.
They're a little bit justified, but yes, he does.
But I'm on board with him this time. I'm just like, and sure, like I guess if you hate Kratos, you could make the argument of like, if he hadn't been such an asshole with his powers to begin with, none of this would have happened. And I'm like, okay, sure, maybe, but still, Zeus fucked him pretty hard. And I was like, you come back and you talk to that one dying soldier, and then you get on the Pegasus horse or whatever and fly off, and then you're off to get your powers back and get revenge. And that's what I want out of my game is I'm like, give me a reason to hate this villain too. And after this happened and we came back to life, I got on this horse and I'm like, yeah, let's fucking get him. Like, it's like, I'm going to stick that fucking sword right up his ass. This is what I'm going to do. And I was invested the whole way through, right up until the end. We'll get into the ending near the end of the episode. I didn't love the ending, but we'll get there. And then, yeah, like I was saying to you, dude, I just felt like it improved the pacing of the first one.
Yeah.
Like the way it balances the combat with the puzzles, the puzzles aren't exactly the deepest thing of all time.
No, but they never were. Like
they never were.
They're if you've got a mind for that, they're super easy. If you really don't have a mind for that, they're easy enough that you can eventually get them.
Yeah, so. I agree with that. I found like honestly the only hiccup with the puzzles was sometimes trying to get him to perform. Like there's the one where you go into this really giant room, there's water at the bottom, and you basically have to like raise all these pillars and then swing from one pillar to another to another.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
It is very Spider-Man. And there's
Yeah.
like one part where you have to hit slow down so this pillar doesn't lower before you can get to it to swing off of it. And it
Yeah.
wasn't so hard to solve the puzzle. I maybe my bad game. Adam sucks at video games. I just was like, I had a hell of a time
It took me
actually
a few
executing.
tries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the puzzles I thought were well paced and broke up the because the thing is like the combat is fun, but I don't think the combat is like the greatest.
Well, it's still in the area of the hack and slash combat.
Yeah, it is. Like it's like we reviewed Devil May Cry on the show a while back, and as some of you very angrily probably remember, I didn't love Devil May Cry. I didn't think it was the worst game ever, but I didn't love it. And I'm not a huge fan of that like button mashing combat. This one I think does just enough to keep it from getting too repetitive. But they also just really, really nail the like you'll have a fight and you'll fight a couple of waves of enemies, and then they're like, okay, now just explore for 5 minutes and go find a couple of treasure chests, and then it's like do a little bit of platforming here and it's solve a puzzle, and then we'll throw some more fights at you. And because and dude, I'm a huge like these are some of my favorite types of games. Our single player third person, like I call these like the PlayStation games.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody knows like God of War, Horizon, Last of Us, Uncharted. Like this is what PlayStation does. These are their games. And the pacing is so critical to making these games fun. And to me, that's the biggest improvement from God of War 1 to 2 was they really, really found their stride with the pacing in this one.
I remember, and I can't remember all the bits and pieces of it, but they went over a lot of the feedback they got about the first one. And that's, and they really listened to it. And so, the pacing was better. There's more boss fights.
Like I never found myself like in some of these games where there's too many fights in a row, I have a hard time doing like a long session. You know what I mean? Like I'll play for an hour and then I'm like, fuck, okay, I don't feel like doing this anymore. I'll come back to this later. And this one I thought not just the difference between the fights and the puzzles and that kind of stuff, but the way they change things up. Like there are some very clever like aspects to some of the fights and things like that, and they did just enough to keep me always wanting to get. I'm like, okay, I'll get to one more save point. Like I'll get to one more save point. And it kept me hooked the whole way through, outside of a couple of parts, especially near the end where I got a little bit ragey. Which we'll get into. The only I'm curious what you thought of this. The only time the combat started to get under my skin outside of the difficulty spike at the end was and I don't remember when the first time they do it is, but there are multiple instances in this game where they'll put you in a spot where there's like you're on like an unofficial timer. Like maybe you're on like a platform that's raising up towards spikes and you need to kill 3 or 4 enemies, then run back over and grab the handle and turn it a couple of times to lower the platform down. And the first time they do it, I'm like, that's fucking sick. What a great idea. But I felt like they went back to that maybe a little bit too much.
They did, and it has very little, like if you don't get to the the handle to start turning it and catch it right off the bat, then you don't get far enough ahead for when the next wave comes.
Yeah, I found in practically every one of those sections, I died at least once and then kind of knew what was coming.
Yeah.
To do it the next time. And again, like it's minor. I'm going to give it a really good score, everybody. I promise. Like it's not that it's a bad thing, but boy, especially in the second half of the game, it felt like they really did that a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but the blades on your arms are great and everything, but I was a lightning man. That lightning saved my ass.
I enjoyed the lightning was the ranged weapon in the first one. This one you have the bow.
Yeah, but I just mean that like I kept using the lightning.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just kept like the bow was nice for a couple of the boss fight. Like there's one of the first boss fights in the game. You fight that big angry guy with the hammer who's guarding the door, and I guess they've fought before. I don't remember if we fought him in the first one or not, but and he didn't want you to get through. And then after you beat him up, then he kind of goes up on the roof and he's shooting at you while he's like summoning skeletons or something to like attack you.
Yeah.
And that's like where the bow would come in handy because you could just pepper him.
Yeah.
But once because I really like that too. And even with the modern God of War games, like they give you so many attacks and so many combos and so many abilities. I don't know about you, but like I basically pick 5 or 6 and I'm like, that's my focus.
Well, and I think that's what they mean for it. It's they give you lots, but they give you lots so you can find what works for you and run with it.
Yeah. because I don't even know. Because like it's cool that you like the first one, you level it up. Like you can level up all your weapons and abilities by finding those like red blood orbs or whatever the fuck, and then once you have 10,000, you can pump them in to charge something up. But I don't know if it's even possible to max out everything in one playthrough. I can't. It doesn't seem like you'd get enough of those red things to do that. At least not without a massive amount of grinding.
Well, and you can only grind so much for stuff because, like, even in areas where the enemies, keep coming until you do whatever, after a while they stop giving you red orbs.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like I don't think it's possible. So I like that they do that. Like it's nice that they give you all these different abilities, but they don't force you to remember all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you have the secondary weapons, like the giant hammer and the spear and stuff, and like I don't know, like I never used those.
I never used the spear. The hammer was fun sometimes, but
yeah, when I first got it, I thought it was fun to swing, and then I was like, you know what? I
There's a nice Easter egg with the hammer if you level it up a bit. So
yeah, like I don't know about you. I want to know, like I maxed out those 2 blades, like his main weapon there.
That's always the first thing I maxed out because it's the thing I use the most.
100%. And then I maxed out the lightning attack. Because when you're in the big swarms of enemies, it's so even the boss fight where you fight the sisters, the lightning was so handy for me. Like, because you don't have to aim it. It's like the one thing you can just hit. I know you can use like the Titan Earthquake Smash too, but I had already put what's that?
I said, whatever. By the time you get that, you're already invested in the other one.
That's it. I was like the like once I finished maxing out my lightning, then I did start putting power into my earthquake, only to realize like I'm never gonna use this anyways. Like sure, it's great, but I've already put so much time and money into my lightning. I'm not gonna switch it up now. Yeah. So but yeah, I like the way they give you all those different things, and it's not too hard to keep track. Like really the combos and stuff aren't that hard to. Like, you're basically just mashing square and triangle, like weak attack and strong attack. And I'm so glad they brought back frankly, I would have failed the game had they not. One of the highlights of this game are the stylized kills.
Yes.
Like I guess, like, for lack of a better term, the fatalities.
Yeah, the quick time kills.
Oh my God. They're so fucking good. Some of them, like, especially when you like grab I love the ones where like the circle pops up above the enemy, like the skeletons, and you grab them. And then you have the choice. Do you want to hit square, triangle, or circle? And all 3 of them will give you like a different animation for how you kill them.
Yeah. It's also good because with those ones, you can also throw them at somebody else. Mm-hmm. So it's a great way of breaking up somebody else's attack run.
Yeah. Crowd control for sure. Yeah. I loved that. Oh my God. I don't know if there's a more satisfying kill in the game than those fucking, I don't know what they're technically called, the Medusa snakes. I don't think they're actually Medusa, but those fucking organs, snakes. Yeah. Fuck me.
Yeah. Because ripping off their head is just very satisfying.
Oh, because they do that goddamn stone gaze. And I would be willing to bet 25% of all the deaths I had in this game where I got turned to stone and then smashed.
Yeah, well, because it always seems to happen. You get turned to stone as somebody's already swinging. So you technically have a chance to break it. You don't have a chance.
Yeah,
in that case.
And I found that attack very difficult to dodge. Like I couldn't get the area of attack down to like get out of the way of it.
Yeah, you can dodge like through the beam, and then you just have to circle around. But anytime there's 2 of them. It's hard because it always feels like if you're avoiding one, you're going right into the other one.
Yeah, and then they give you you get the fucking head that you can use to turn enemies into stone. Yeah. And when I first got it, I was so excited. I was like, oh, how the turntables have turned. But then I realized like it takes so long to turn enemies to stone that I never used it.
Yeah, it's very satisfying when you do it, but how often,
It just when you're in a big mass of enemies, it's just like, I don't have time. Like I can hit lightning and then go and wail on somebody while they're being shocked. I don't have time to stand here and do that electrical thing or the stone thing. On that note though, that's, I think my favorite boss fight in the game is that big fucking slug, whatever the fuck that thing is, where you get the head.
Yeah, that's Medusa's sister. She's mad at you because you killed Medusa in the first one.
I thought that was just such a well-designed fight, and the way she like climbs up on the poles, and then that's where I was using my arrows again, was like shooting at her, trying to knock her down, and
Yeah.
I found that to be a very difficult fight, but not in a cheap way. Like tough but fair. I loved that fight.
Most of the bosses I found, like, you had to kind of figure out what the gimmick was, but I didn't find any of the bosses cheap. Some of the regular enemies could be a bit cheap, but I didn't find any of the bosses in this one.
No, I didn't either, and I did like them. Obviously, one of the big talking points is the quick time events. There is a very heavy emphasis on quick time events.
Yeah, but I mean that was the staple. Like, this is one of the first God of War was one of the games that popularized that mechanic back in the day. So,
and
I feel like they dialed it down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of them. It doesn't bother me. Like, by and large, I know they're an easy thing for people to hate on, but when implemented properly, I'm actually a big fan of quick time events.
Yeah, same here, and I think this game does do a good job of it.
I do too. The only time I really ran into an issue with the quick time events, I liked it when it was stuff like when you're fighting those big one-eyed like ogres, and then it would be a random combo. It wasn't always the same combo.
Yeah.
It was like a random combo of buttons and you had to hit all of them. The only time I struggled a little bit with the quick time events in this game were when it would make you do the analog turns.
I don't know if it was my controller, but it might. It really had a trouble picking that up sometimes.
Me too. Never a full turn. That was easy. But when I had to do the half turn, I never was able to stick it for some fucking reason. Like, it always would take me a couple of tries. And then this is a minor thing, but multiple things did it, but I hated when it would, like, most of the quick time events, the button you needed to push would pop up like right over your head or in the middle of the screen or over the enemy's head or whatever the fuck. But then when you had to mash circle, it appeared in the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
And I'm watching
where you're focusing.
Exactly. Like, especially, like, I have one eye. Like, I can't see this whole fucking thing. I need to pick an area and focus on it. So I'm dialed in on the center of the screen looking for my next QuickTime event. And then by the time I notice that there's something blinking in the corner telling me to mash circle, it's too late. And
you're getting flung off and you got to do it again. Yeah, almost any of the big enemies, it almost always took me, like, at least one failed one before I would figure it out. Same with the bosses always required it for whatever the final hit on the boss was, but
yeah, which, like, you know, again, I'm a fan of quick time events, doesn't bother me, but it just, boy, there was a lot of them, and I mean, we might as well just get it out of the way right now, dude. That Zeus fight at the end, that is one of the most fucking, that is like, you better have a cup of coffee before you go fight him because you need to be fast.
Yes,
like, holy, I must
do not have a whole lot of time.
Dude, I died on that fight a dozen times. Not the part where you actually fight him, which I found very satisfying. I think he killed me once. That part was great. But once you actually, like, you know, defeat him, then you have to do the quick time event part to fight him, like, to finish him off and end the game. And
I'd get to the third one and I'd fuck up the fourth one like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah, dude, there was no, because it was like when you mentioned, when you're fighting some of the other enemies in the game and even some of the bosses, when you get to like a quick time event with them, if you fuck one up, they'll hurt you. Like, they'll attack you, they'll throw you off, whatever the fuck, and now you need to wait and get another opening. But with that final Zeus fight, if you fuck one up, he kills you, and then you gotta do it again. And I just kept fucking them up, or else I could not. Maybe it's my old man reflexes. I'll be damned if I could tap circle enough to fucking put him down when he's laying on the ground and you're fighting with. Like, I could not beat him. And I was genuinely starting to get just a little bit hot because I was like, how am I? Like, I'm good at these. I'm good at quick. Why the fuck can I not do this? And then when I went online and saw, somebody even commented after I said I beat the game, and they were like, I want to know how many attempts it took you to beat Zeus. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's not just me. This is well known that this is a fast quick time event. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's the exception to the bosses aren't cheap.
Oh, God, dude. Fucking insane it. That said, shout out to the developers for making it so there was a checkpoint between when you fight them and then when you have to do the quick time at the end.
Yes.
Oh my God. That was, you have to imagine that was from the game testing, and the testers were like, hey, this is going to piss some people off, man. You guys might want to put a checkpoint in here. Yeah. That might be for the best. And then this game does that thing. This must be one of the earliest examples of one of those ones where if you die over and over, they're like, hey, do you need us to turn it down to easy mode for you?
Yeah, well, the first one did that too, except it was minus one part. It's never the combat that kills me. It's always like trying to get past the stupid spike or something. I'm like, that
Yeah.
won't make it easier.
Same here, dude. That one part where you have to like, it's actually a really cool platforming segment where you're running across all these like pillars and the remains of this bridge as it's collapsing.
Oh yeah,
I
that
died.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, I died in there. Like, I must have died in there half a dozen times. I just couldn't find the timing for a couple of the jumps and stuff. And I wasn't even getting mad. I'm like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. I'll get it. And then that thing kept popping up, and I was like, is this going to help me? Like, is this going to fucking make it easier for me to jump across these fucking bridges? Because I don't think it is. Fuck you. God damn it. Fuck. God damn.
At least
And like, that's where
it gives you more time before that pops up than Atreus and Ragnarok.
oh my God. That's where I start to get angry is when it's like, even Mario, God bless him. I love that guy. But when you start popping up the like baby leaf, when they're like, oh, hey, maybe you need a hand. I'm like, I'll fucking tell you when I need a hand. Like, make that optional. Don't fucking patronize me. I'll tell you when I need your help. Ah, damn it. I died there a lot too. Okay, listen, here's what we'll do. We'll let a sponsor in, we'll let them keep our bills on. And then there's still a lot to get to. So let's do that. Then we'll keep unpacking this thing.
Sounds good.
Remember the game will return after these messages.
With Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, you get to skate like Tony Hawk. You get a skate park editor, a dream team of skaters, and now you get a chance to chill with Tony. Hey. Sweet! Go to Activision.com or your local retailer to enter the Chill with a Pro sweepstakes, and you can win an all-expense-paid trip to chill with Tony Hawk, Matt Hoffman, Sean Palmer, or Kelly Slater. Enter today. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, rated T for teens.
You know what I really liked about this game too is at the very beginning, I remember who you're fighting. It's like when you still have your powers and you're fighting that giant fucking, is it just Goliath?
The statue?
Like the giant, like that giant soldier, and you need to like use his hands to hit him and like use the fucking.
Oh, that's the Colossus of Rhodes.
Yeah.
Giant statue Daedalus made.
I thought that was a very cool intro. I gotta say, one of the only things I prefer about God of War 1, that opening fight in God of War 1 where you fight the Kraken or whatever it is on the boat.
Oh, that's still. I love this game better than 1, but that Kraken fight is probably still one of my favorites.
It's insane. Like a constant suggestion for an episode of Expansion Pass are best game intros. And the only reason we haven't done it is because if I'm being honest with all of you, like, I don't know if I've got 10 game intros that really stick out to me.
No,
like
I can give you 3, and that God of War Kraken is on there.
Yeah, that's one that has stuck with me since the first time I played it. Like, what a phenomenal intro to the series. Like that insane fight on this boat in this storm, and it's so good. And so I was like, we're doing this fight against the Colossus guy or whatever the fuck in this one. And it's not that it's bad. It's good. But I was like, you're no Kraken, sir. Like, you're fine, but you're not a giant sea monster on a boat. You're just a big guy with stupid hands.
See, for me, what was going through my head when like going through it, and and because the statue comes to life and thing, I'm like, okay, so this is the Statue of Liberty from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I thought that as well. Yeah, I always think of that whenever I think of somebody big as the Statue of Liberty from GB2. I thought of that as well. But so that was like, it was very cool. I didn't think it lived up to the first one, but I don't know how you follow up the first one, so that's fine. One of the things I really, really loved about this game, and kind of goes back to the pacing, was I really liked the kind of level variety. And it wasn't just the combat to then puzzle solving to then platforming, but like there's multiple, dude, there's the one segment right after you come back from like hell or whatever the fuck, where you're riding like the Pegasus and you're like fighting off the soldiers that are in the air, like while you're flying.
Yeah.
And that I thought was very cool. But then even better was when you fucking take that guy's wings.
Icarus, against Icarus there, yeah.
Oh my God. And that guy's like talking shit and then he's falling and you jump on his back and fucking Kratos is like, I'm going to use your wings to get across here. And you're falling down this fucking seemingly endless hole, just wailing on this guy. And then to defeat him, you literally you fucking rip the poor guy's wings off and attach them to yourself. Yeah. I thought that was so badass. Yeah. Oh my God.
Let him do a splat.
Yeah.
And then, you've got to fly through Tartarus a bit to get out.
Yeah, I thought that was very, very cool. And I'm like, and I thought that was a very cool way to give you like a floating mechanic.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, again, we're going back to like him slowly accumulating powers again. That's one of the coolest ways I've ever seen to get a power. You fucking just rip the fucking wings off of this guy and you're like, they're mine now.
Yeah.
And then you can float across pits. Although I'll tell you, buddy, for the life of me, it must have taken me way more attempts than I'm proud to admit to get a feel for. I don't know why I could not get a feel for that in Clyde.
No, that's just you. I died a bunch. Like when you're trying to get through like the little volcano there, right
Yeah.
after you get them. And yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, like, you know, you jump and you hold the button and like sometimes it feels like it would work and sometimes it wasn't. And I could tell it was something that I was doing wrong, but I couldn't figure out what.
Same. And I never, even right up to the end of the game, I never quite got a feel for like double jump float.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would
Typically if I saw one coming up, like I was like practicing it before I would actually have to do the jump, and I'd still half the time screw it up and die and do it again.
Yeah, it was like 75% of the time I'd stick it. I could not figure out what the fuck I was doing wrong with it, but it did the job. It was fine. Yeah, because then you go to that whole volcano part, and then you're like climbing Titan or whatever the fuck it is, and you're like,
that's Atlas. Yeah,
yeah. That part I thought was very, very like. There's not a bad level in the game. Like every area feels so cool.
Yeah.
With the exception of we talked about this off air a little bit. I think we teased it a little on this episode. Dude, I don't know where the fuck this difficulty spike in the last like hour and a half of the game comes from.
Oh,
but there's a part near the end where you're in like a lava cavern and you walk across the ceiling and then you drop down and then you need to climb up and fight some of the snakes and some of the soldiers and stuff. And there's like a lava pit below you, like to the left of the screen. And I must have died in there a dozen times. I don't know why I could not figure that fucking part out. And I died more in the last 2 hours of the game than I did the whole rest of the way.
Probably. For me, it was that enemy rush, like right as you go to fight the fates. That like when you're doing walking around that big one, and it had like the little gates would pop up, and you'd have to clear all the enemies.
Yeah,
that was the one that was getting to me because it was like it's just a massive onslaught.
It's
and
insane.
It didn't help. Like I stuff like that starts causing me rage issues to begin with. And then I was in the process of changing meds over, and one of the side effects I was getting was increased rage. So I was just absolutely swearing a storm. I was doing it on stream, and I was snapping at people that were like, maybe you should calm down. I'm like, I'll fucking calm down when I want to calm down.
That's a pain I know all too well. Yelling, I always feel bad yelling at people in my stream, but it's just...
I got a message afterwards. It's like, hey, just so you know, you snapped at both of us, and we were just trying to help. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like we understand the frustration, but that's not normally like you.
Yeah, I think every streamer at some point has just like, I'll turn this fucking car around moment because they're just dying in a game over and over again. Fuck me. Yeah, I was getting genuinely heated like near the end of the game. Yeah. Like there's a couple of parts where it's endless fucking wave after endless wave. And then that part where you fight the two sisters and the one is coming, is it 2 or 3 sisters?
You fight the two of them, like the one that's popping out of the mirrors.
Yeah, the one that keeps popping out of the mirror. And then the other one is like there. I thought that was such a cool concept for a fight, but I must have done that fight for like 20 minutes. And I was like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. There's no way this fight is going for this long.
They don't advertise, like they don't show off that you need to smash the mirror well enough, I think.
Well, yeah, because like I finally had to look it up because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And they're like, when you knock down the flying sister, you can use the slow motion thing to then slow down the one coming out of the mirror. And then you can go over and smash the mirror when she's like there. And once I read it, I was like, fair enough. I guess that's on me because they've spent the entire game kind of teaching you that when you see something glowing green, you can use it to slow down time, right? Like at her head's glowing green, I could have used it to slow down time. But I just, for whatever reason, that never clicked with me. And I was just a little bit irritated that I was like, I don't know. Part of me was like, how was I supposed to know that? But then part of me was like, no, it was glowing green, dude. You should have known that. But I was on that fight I thought it was a great fight. Like that's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
but I just
that honestly, and I want to get into it. Like all the boss fights were well done.
I'm not traditionally a big boss fight guy, I do agree. Like outside of not being able to figure out that fucking slow-mo thing, which is on, I'll own that one. And then I think the quick time thing on Zeus was just maybe just a little bit aggressive with the timing. But at the same time though, dude, like he's the final boss of the game. You've spent the last 10, 12 hours waiting to fight him. If they had made it a very easy, quick, painless quick time event, I think I might have walked away feeling a little bit like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like that was, so I get they had to bump up the challenge. I already mentioned that big Medusa head sloth girl thing that was my standout. Is there a boss fight that sticks out to you?
There's a couple. The when you fight Theseus, when you first get to the island, the horse lord, and you get the key off him, just when he goes full anger, like he just starts smashing his head in the door.
Yeah.
Like, the fight itself is like this is brutal Kratos, and then he just ramps it right up, and he's just smashing his head in with the door. It's like the scene from Daredevil. I'm like, okay,
dude,
it hasn't been much.
It gets gory a couple of times. It's like when you need to get the translators to read that book for you, and they're like, "I can't," and he's like, "Read it."
I'm not gonna read anymore. Smash.
You just start like it felt like a fucking like a comedy from like a buddy cop movie or something, where the guy's like, he's like, "Tell me where the treasure is." "I'm not telling you nothing," and then they slam his head into the wall, and he's like, "All right." So then once they read it, then you just fucking kill him.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not reading. Yeah, they're like, I'm not going to read it. And it's like, well, yeah, because they get sacrificed as part of it.
Yeah, there's some pretty violent kills in this one. So sorry, please continue. I didn't mean to derail.
The Perseus fight, the guy that has the invisibility helmet, I thought was I thought that was clever. Invisibility enemies are always hard in video games, and I think this game did. I don't know if it's the best job I've seen of it, but it was a good one.
Yeah, because you're fighting him in the water, right? And you can follow the footsteps. Like it's now the only and I'm being I'm being a bitch with this. But I agree with you. That was because invisible enemies can be so fucking annoying. And that one is pretty well done because you can follow the footsteps in the water and find them. And that's very cool. I will just say it really makes him look like a dumbass. He's like, I have this ability to go invisible, and then this big mean man can't find me. And then he only fights in the water where you can watch his footsteps. I get they have to do it.
It's
right?
even more fun because Perseus is clever. Like that was his whole gimmick as a hero, is that he was clever. The other thing, just to jump back to Theseus, I also like killing Theseus because he still pisses me off from the first Hades game. He's the dude you fight in the arena with the Minotaur.
Oh, yeah, I fucking hate that guy too.
Yeah, anytime I get to kill Theseus in anything, I'm going to be okay with it.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought it was done. But yeah, Perseus getting his ass owned. Like that one.
Yeah, that was especially once you get him to where he's not invisible anymore. And then you feel like a fucking wolf standing over your prey. Once he can't hide anymore, you're like, "Oh, buddy, you're this isn't going to end well for you." I'm one angry, roided up man.
Yeah, when you fight the Barbarian King to get the hammer, I just like that one because the guy can summon the ghosts, and one of the ghosts he summons is the Boat King, the boat captain from the beginning of that the first God of War game.
Oh, I never caught that. Good pull.
Yeah, like because you do that, and then in the first game when you're climbing out of hell, you climb out and you pull him down.
Oh,
so, this guy's important. But there's also, if you level up the hammer, you can summon the ghost. It is actually possible to summon that guy again, and he just runs around like a coward.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
I never leveled. Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, I never leveled up the hammer. I thought it was fun to use.
Not you.
Yeah.
I just love that this guy's entire afterlife is just still being tormented by the guy that killed him.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, he's just terrified of having to come back. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And then the fight against the last Spartan near the end. Where it's all black and white.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was very cool. Where it's just almost like 2-dimensional. Like it's just sides.
Yeah.
It's like sideways. That was very, very cool as well. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single outside of that quick time thing with Zeus, which wasn't even that bad. There wasn't a boss fight in this game that really got under my skin.
Yeah.
It was more of just the occasional.
I know the first one got a lot of flack because there's only 3 bosses in the game. Like there's the Kraken, the Minotaur, and then Ares.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things they said they went into this one is they wanted to have more bosses, but they still wanted to make sure that they were all felt unique.
Yeah. and
which I
they
think they
nailed it.
definitely did do.
Yeah, and credit to them because like, not that the PS2 was a slouch of a console by any means, but like they didn't have as much to work with then as they do now. You know, like
Yeah.
they really had to put a lot of time into coming up with ways to make the not just the boss fights, but even just like the parts where you're flying are very cool.
Yeah.
I loved the part where you have to go along that really giant bridge and then like free those 4 horses or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like those little things, you know, like it's considering like basically the entire game consists of solving semi-basic bitch puzzles, platforming, or just beating on people. They did a tremendous job of making it never feel repetitive or tedious.
Yeah. Just as soon as you might start to get tired of one, you go and you do one of the other ones.
Mm-hmm. You know, or they put you into a different area, or they introduce a new kind of enemy.
Yeah.
My favorite basic enemy, was those giant like ogre guys that had those little fucking like orcs riding on their backs.
Oh, yeah, they were fun.
Oh man, because not only would you fight them, but you'd use circle and you'd like throw your claws up and pull one of those orcs down, and then the big mean ogre guy would kind of fight a little bit more unorganized, and that was your chance to like take them down. And that was very satisfying as well. Yeah, those were, and then like, dude, some of the, again, we've talked about it, but some of the fucking kills, like the ones where those fucking demon guy, I think they have like pitchforks or something, and you like steal it from them, or a spear or something, and you put it into the ground, and then you hook them. Yeah, and then you hook them with your blades and like impale them on their own weapon.
Yeah.
It was surprising. Like, I guess I knew from the first one, but I was like, I don't remember playing a lot of games that were featured that kind of gore back in the day.
Not in a hack and slash. Like this was Mortal Kombat fatalities, but on every enemy.
Yeah, like even just beating up like a basic fucking soldier, and you could like pin them down on the ground and rip their fucking head off or break their neck or whatever the fuck. Like, there's some vicious fucking deaths in this game.
Yeah, and gender equality. When you're fighting the banshees, you smash their face into the ground.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
He doesn't back off just because they're girls.
I also find it very satisfying whenever you fight like the demon bird things, and you get a hold of one and you just like rip it in half. Oh
yeah,
because I hate those fuckers. I hated those fuckers.
Yeah,
like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you either catch them in the air and then you throw them at the ground, or if you catch them on the ground and you stomp on them and rip their wings off.
Yeah, very satisfying.
Very satisfying.
Yeah, and they never got like, even though there are only a finite amount of like death animations for killing some of the enemies, man, it felt so good. Like they never got old. It never got old because you're when you're fighting like a dozen of them at once, you're just like, fuck, when we get down to 1 or 2, I'm going to take my fucking time. Like, I don't know if that was just me or if that says something about me as a person, but I was like, you're going to fucking pay, you little bitch.
But like every time I heard like somebody would get to the point where you could have the circle icon and then you accidentally killed them before you could go and get it, I always felt cheated.
Me too. I was like, what the fuck? I'd be like mashing lightning to try to buy myself time to get to one of the bigger enemies to hit the circle icon. And then I'd accidentally kill them with the lightning. And I was like, that's a fucking ripoff. Because I want the gore. I want the gore.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did enjoy the puzzles. I didn't find any of them to be too, where I got stuck on one was there's a big statue with like laser beams coming out of both of its eyes. And you need to put 2 statues in front of its eyes.
Oh yeah.
And one of the 2 statues, you pull it out from like a wall and you can put it up on this raising platform, and you pull a lever and it goes up on this platform, but you can't get it over this like lip to push it down the bridge. You know what part I'm talking about?
Yep.
And I'm like, what in the fuck am I missing here? Like, why can't I do this? And all it was is I had put the game down for a few days and came back, and I had forgotten about the ability to kick the statue and like have it like jet off a little ways. So when I looked that up, I was just like, God damn it. Someone wrote into Remember the Game the other day, a week or 2 ago, and was like, what's one feature you wish consoles had that they don't have yet? And I had seen, and I wish I knew who had tweeted that. Shout out to whoever tweeted it.
I've seen that post in so many different places.
Yeah, it's such a great concept. The idea of a mode where when you come back to a game, they're like, hey, you haven't played this in a few days. Do you need a quick refresher on the controls or maybe a recap of what's been going on in this story so far? And I was like, that would have saved me there. Like I wish. Yeah, I wish. But But other than that, yeah, the puzzles were well done. The combat was well done. The bosses were well done. The voice acting and stuff is still like, dude. I just finished playing, a couple of Resident Evil games, and I adore Resident Evil. But let's be honest, especially Resident Evil 1, not exactly Oscar-worthy performances.
No.
It's with its charm. I love cheesy voice acting, but it's cheese. The voice acting in this game, like, spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, it's Kratos in particular, obviously the main character. So well done. Like, you feel is like, and I don't know if this is gonna sound bad, but like, I like that they kind of dehumanized him a little bit. Like in one, it's like he's still so upset over the death of his family, right? And you can see it in him, and there's parts that focus on it. And in this one, it really, at least in my interpretation of it, was that he's over it in air quotes.
He's absolutely over. I mean, like he got the first one, you find out that he got fucked over and tricked by Ares and then the other gods. And then he's doing this because he's like, okay, after this. And then he gets lied to and tricked again. So even by the beginning of this game, like, he is already pissed off at everything.
Yeah.
And then he gets tricked and has his power stolen away. He's literally too angry to die.
Yeah. Like, I liked that, like, again, the humanizing him in the first one was fine. But it was cool that in this one, like, it almost felt like the entire, like, he's choking on his own rage here. Like, he's blinded by everything. He's just like, I'm gonna find Zeus and I'm gonna shove my foot up his ass, and nothing else fucking matters. And anyone else that tries to tell him otherwise, he's like, I don't want to fucking hear it. And then he's like, he's like finding other things that are telling him like, hey, don't. You're fucking with a lot of powerful shit here, going to find these sisters and having them take you back. And he's like, I don't fucking care. Like, nothing else matters to me. Fuck him and fuck you. And I loved it. I was on his side the whole time. Like, and it's funny because he's a very one-dimensional character in this game. Like, compared to
absolutely. He angry.
Yeah. And like,
that is his character trait.
Yeah. And I could see that being like, I could see that being a negative, like I could see that being just like, I want a little bit more depth.
But they make it work.
Yeah, they do. And again, if you've played the first one, which if you're listening to this and you haven't played these games yet, I can't recommend enough. Granted, I haven't played God of War 3 yet, but based on the ending of God of War 2, God of War 3 will play off of the ending of God of War 2. I highly, highly, highly recommend playing them in order. And,
Yeah.
And if you do play them in order, I think that helps with his anger, like with the one dimension of his character in the second one, because you've already seen it. Like, we've seen nice, well, in air quotes, nice guy Kratos. Now we just want choking on his own rage Kratos.
Yeah.
So you're motivated the whole fucking way. I did like the there wasn't a ton of it, but sorry. Well, we were talking about boss fights. One that I don't think we brought up was the giant fucking fish octopus sea monster thing that's hanging off of those two pillars, and you gotta keep like dragging the body over and dropping it on the switch to activate the air to go up and like slice up the diamond on his head, eventually cut his tentacles off. And I thought that was an awesome fight too. I don't know what the fuck that thing is, but that's actually something when you maybe you won't remember, because you've obviously played this game more than once, I assume.
Yeah, I played it back when it came out, and then I played it again about a little over a month ago, I think.
Okay. There's the first time you have to take a body. It's very early on in the game where you have to pick up a dead body and like haul it down and use it to like activate a switch in the ground.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed. I had to look that up because I was there forever. And I'm like, how in the fuck? Because you like pull that lever back and then it opens one gate, but then there's a second gate behind it. And I can't hit both switches and get through that gate in time. And I was like, what in the fuck? And then they're like, go up and there's a dead body. And I didn't even notice the body laying there. And once I read that, like, oh, go get the body and put it down, I was like, I don't know if I ever would have solved that because I didn't notice the body there. And it was like the one instance of the game where I was like, fuck, I wish I had Atreus offering me obnoxiously obvious and too frequent hints on how to solve this puzzle right now. But
we decided to have DSP play the first one and get stuck on it so that their developers put that in.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I love that clip so much. That fucking asshole. For those of you that don't know, I hate this streamer and DSP. I think most of you know. And there's like if you look it up, look up DSP yellow paint. There's like a famous clip of him playing God of War, and people joke that he's the reason we have yellow paint sections in games. Because they need to show the gamer where to go. That said, people dunk on the yellow paint thing too. But like I'm playing Ghost of Yote right now, and it's
It's
spectacular.
white.
But it's
It's
white paint.
white
I think it's bird poop, but it's like
Yeah.
white to let you know where to go. I don't know
Yeah.
what else they could do, because I'm telling you,
No,
people that
I've
hate on
never
that
minded
system.
it.
No, me neither. People that hate on that system. I want to know how many of you played like Dino Crisis and Parasite Eve and Resident Evil on the PS1, where your only option was literally just walk up and down each wall, mashing X to see what you could interact with. Like, I'm sorry, but highlight it. Let me know what I can interact with. I don't even care. That's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. I remember how we got on this fucking tirade. Oh yeah, the body thing. I did once I did it once. I like that they brought that back a couple of times, but I just that first
but
one I was
they
like,
also mixed it up. Like there's the one where you have to put the body in the like where it's got the water flowing around. You have to put it in the one spot so you can pick it up in the other spot.
yeah, that one. I did solve that one. I actually thought that was the most clever.
Yeah.
I don't know, clever, but yeah, maybe the most clever puzzle in the game, because you smash holes in both of these walls, and then there's like two levers or two switches on the floor that need to be stood on, but you can't stand on both of them, and you're like, and you can't for some reason, even though Kratos is like the strongest man in the world, he can't jump over a knee-high wall carrying a body.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, that's gaming 101. Dude, is there anything more irritating in a video game than when you're like obviously, like the solution to that was very cool. Put the body in the water, let the water kind of carry it around to the other side, go pick it up, put it on the lever. But like when you're playing a video game, and every game's got an example of this, and you're just like, sure, we could do it that way, but how about you just drop it over this fucking waist high wall and then step over and pick them up? Like I'm not. It's not a criticism. I'm not gonna ruin the game or anything, but it's, you know what I mean. Like every game seems to have something like that, where you're like, there's such an easier way to do this. But that would be boring for the video game if we did it that way. So we have to do it the long way instead. I don't know. Or when you see like what's a common tripe in video games is you're like doesn't matter what the game is, you're fighting off super villains, you're doing all these things, and then you come to an impasse because there's like tables and desks piled up against a door. And it's to stop you from going through the door, and I get that, but you're like, so wait a minute, so I can fight Nemesis, but I can't pull these two tables over and move them from this door and get through the fuck, anyway. I'm just being a bitch. Yeah. Is there anything we've missed? Like I really, really like this game.
Is this I can't remember. In the first one, did you get the ability to reflect attacks like you could with the Golden Fleece in this one?
Oh, I can't remember. But I did that one. That I liked that system. It was pretty necessary at the end of the game.
Yeah. Well, this part, where you like though it's got the walls where you got to reflect the like the fireballs back to blow up the wall or something.
Yeah,
I do feel like something got cut because it's like it really glances over. It's like, hey, it's Jason and the Argonauts. By the way, they're almost dead.
Yeah,
and it's, the lion's there, and then you quickly beat up the lion and pull the fleece out of its throat. I'm like, okay, like I feel like there was should have been more here, but
yeah,
whatever.
it felt like because you got that like reasonably early in the game, like but before half, anyways. And then it never really forces you to use it again until near the end. Like you use it to deflect like at that one that one rock face that's spitting fireballs at you, whatever the fuck. And then at the end when you really need, like it was a godsend with Zeus and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
But like I was like I'm a little, not a major criticism. I'm a little surprised it didn't force you to practice that a little bit more, because the timing window on it was pretty precise.
Yeah.
And
you could use it, but if you weren't, then
like it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that system a lot. It dude, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I suck at that in so many games. Like Expedition 33, for the fucking life of me, I never got that good at it in that game. Like, shout out to Expedition 33. If you haven't played it, probably should pause this podcast and go play it. It's pretty fucking good. But I don't know what it is. A lot of games I struggle with that reflection timing. I don't know. I guess I just have a different but like in my brain, I have a different idea of what the timing should be compared to what the developers obviously think, and it just
Yeah.
takes me a lot of practice. But yeah, I thought that was a cool system. Like I said, I like that you get you have by the end of the game, you have the bow and arrow, the lightning, the earthquake titan thing, and then the snake head to turn people into stone. And I mostly just used the lightning, but it was still pretty handy. And then you got the additional weapons like the spear and the hammer and stuff to go with your fucking your cha-cha blades that are so iconic. And dude, I gotta say, oh yeah, because that's something I wanted to touch on before we end this. I want to just talk about the differences between the old games and the new games. We're not going to spoil anything major from the new games if you haven't played them yet. I highly recommend you play them. God of War Ragnarok is a former Molly recipient. His game of the year. They're spectacular games. But in the first one, when he goes and gets those fucking those two, I don't know what they're called, those two dagger blades out.
The blades of chaos blades, blades of chaos, blades of Athena.
Yeah,
all kinds of different names, but yeah.
When he first gets them out, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And now that I've played the originals, I'm like, I wish that I had known what those were signifying before I had played the new one, like the modern ones, because I would have fucking popped. I would have been like, oh shit, here we go again. What I wanted to ask you is that whenever we talk God of War on the show, it's the minority, but there is a vocal group that say they don't care for the modern ones. They prefer these ones, like the old style, because they are different games.
They are very different games. I mean, Kratos isn't anywhere near as angry in the new ones.
Yeah, I have not played God of War 3 yet, and I've told everyone, please don't spoil it. I'm going to play it sometime the next year. I'll bet you we'll play it. I want to know if something happens to calm his tits in God of War 3, because he is a much more mellow. He's a dad, and he's a much more mellow guy in the modern games.
Yeah, he's not a good dad in the first one, but he is a dad, and he's he's when he gets angry in like in 2018 in Ragnarok. When you play these ones, or when you haven't played these ones, he's angry. But now that you play these ones, he's like, well, he's mildly upset, I guess.
Yeah, he's clearly the anger management is working. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's I will say I do personally, I do prefer the modern ones. I just nothing to do with the graphics or the additional game mechanics and stuff. I just enjoy the story better. I like the relationship between Kratos and Atreus and all that kind of stuff better.
It's a heavier narrative based experience, and that's kind of one of the things that I like.
Yeah. It's for like to the T, like the two modern God of War games are like what PlayStation does best, are those types of games. Yeah. And they nail them. I assume you prefer the modern ones as well.
I prefer them, but I mean, I definitely I have nothing against these ones. And there are times where I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't want to have to think or pay attention to the story. I just want to murder the fuck ton out of a bunch of things.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, and I'll say that as well. Well, I do. If you told me like, hey Adam, you got to decide right now for the rest of your life, you can only play the modern God of War games or the old God of War games, I'm going to play the modern ones because I think that they're two of the best. I think they're two of the best games of the last like 2 generations. Like they're spectacular.
Yeah.
But as I said almost an hour ago when we started this, like I think this might be, if you were to put a gun to my head right now and say like, what's the best game on the PS2? I would probably either say Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or God of War 2. Like of the two that of the ones that I've played. I think this is just magnificent, and I can't wait to play God of War 3 now. I got to find time because, again, I've already warned everyone there's going to be spoilers. We're going to get into the ending of the game now, so I guess if you don't want to hear it, skip. But if you've made it this far, I'm assuming you're okay with a little bit more spoiling. I had I played this when it came out and gotten that ending, much like the Halo 2 ending, and that's as far as I'll go with that, so I don't ruin it for anybody, but the Halo 2 was a cliffhanger. And now it doesn't matter because you're like, the games came out 20 some years ago. You can hop right into the third one. It's fine. You can fucking see how it ends. Had this happened to me back in 2007, half of me would have been like, oh shit, I can't wait for part 3. And half of me would have been like, God damn it. Now I have to wait for part 3. I loved the ending. I love that. Like Zeus was like, oh, you'll rue this day. Like I'll be back with all my godly friends. And I was just, and Kratos is like, go fuck yourself. And I can't wait now. I have to see. Did you like the ending? I thought it was awesome.
I did. Yeah, the fact that and you've warned everyone to spoil it. The fact that rather than the Titans being defeated, Kratos goes back in time and basically gets all the Titans and brings them back to the modern time to attack Olympus.
Yeah.
Like it literally ends with him on the back of Gaia with all the other Titans behind him climbing up the mountain, basically being, hey, we're coming to fuck you up.
Yeah. It's just setting up like I know there are more games than just the trilogy, but like I'm of the assumption that like at least to some extent you can say that like the trilogy wraps up with part 3 and then there's other stories and there's other games, but like
the other because there's the 1, 2, and 3, and then there's Chains of Olympus, Goes to Sparta, and Ascension, and I think all 3 of those take place before God of War 1,
right,
or at the very least before God of War 2.
Right. Like I'm as an uneducated new fan, I'm going into God of War 3 expecting like the conclusion of this Zeus Kratos beef. And it set it up so perfectly at the end of 2 that I'm like I'll be like I don't doubt that it'll live up to it because I know how critically acclaimed these games are, but I'm like God of War 2 did a great job. The bar is set very, very, very high. God of War 1 set the bar high, and God of War 2, in my opinion, throttled it outside of the opening fight, throttled it. And so I'm like, when I'm done playing God of War 3, like it maybe isn't fair to the game, but I think this is what every game developer out there, especially that's trying to build a series, wants. I'm expecting God of War 3 to rock my fucking world. Like if it doesn't, I'm going to be a little bit irritated with it. Because I'm like, the bar is here. The table is set. Fucking serve me a steak. Let's go. I very, very impressed. Great fucking game. Holy fuck, what a game. I'll play it again. And I know I'm rambling here, but it's my thing.
Good
it's what
game
I
for
do.
rambling.
Yeah, it's what I do. You mentioned too, one of the things I like better about the old games is I would love to replay God of War 2018. And I'd love to play Ragnarok again, but I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. Like those are massive time sinks. Great games, but they're big fucking games. There's something to be said for a game that you could fire up and beat in, I don't know how long this one took me, probably somewhere between like 12 and 15 hours.
I think so. I think I did it in like 3 streaming sessions because I did this one on stream.
Yeah, like this is like a manageable, return experience. And I'm like, I think I will play these again at some point. Like, it'll be a while, but I'll go back and play through the whole trilogy again, I think. Because I'm very impressed. It's not normally my type of game. Hack and slash games kind of irritate me, but this one got me. This was a lot of fun. Very good. Are we good? You want to score it?
Yeah, I'm down with scoring it.
All right. The fuck are we gonna score this thing? Let's see here. You got any ideas? You're the guest. Otherwise, I'll come up with something.
Olympus has 12 gods.
All right, I'll take your word for that. Sure. All right. How many?
There's more gods out there, but there's 12 gods that have a seat on Olympus.
Okay. All right. How many gods would you give God of War 2?
I give God of War 2 10.5 gods. One of them got chopped in half.
One of them got sliced up, probably by Kratos.
Probably.
Yeah, I'll go 11. Yeah. I don't know if I have a major criticism. Like I guess the only criticism I have is that and it's a minor thing. I really thought that difficulty spike at the end was just a little frustrating. A little bit frustrating.
And I think it's less like the first half of the game is feels a lot easier than it should have been. If they just like kind of stretched out and made it a bit more of an even curve, it wouldn't be so bad.
I agree. Yeah, like I expected the end of the game to be more difficult than the beginning. Like that's sure, of course. But yeah, I would just like they could have ramped it up a little bit more gradually. But if that's your biggest criticism of a game, that's a pretty good fucking game. Like there's really not a lot else here to not like. I loved it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And again, if by some chance you got here to the end and you haven't played these games, I can't recommend them enough. Remember the game seal of approval. Very, very good. Play them and love them. And expect a God of War 3 review sometime in 2026. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know when, but expect, because I want to play it while God of War 2 is relatively fresh in my mind. So God of War 3 review is coming, and not spoiling anything, Daniel. Please don't spoil anything. Because you had said this was your favorite of the original trilogy, right?
This is my favorite of the original trilogy, yeah.
Do you think I'm going to walk out of 3 disappointed, or is it still very good?
It's good. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I personally don't feel that lived up to this one. But I also might have been a bit too hyped for 3. So I'm
Sure.
actually really curious just to see your opinion on it.
That's fair. Like, I
Or
mean,
you didn't have to wait 3.5 years like I did.
right. Yeah, like, I mean,
I guess you could if you wanted, but
very rarely do these get, like, Mass Effect 2, in my opinion, is better than Mass Effect 3. Halo 2, in my opinion, is better than Halo 3. Like, it's, you build it up so high that it's very difficult to then stick the landing with that third part. But I'm still going to go into it with high expectations.
Yeah.
So,
well,
can't wait.
and for me, some of it just comes from story choices they made in 3 that I didn't care as for. So yeah, so I am curious to see what you think about 3.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna murder anyone who tries to take that spot ahead of me. So I'll talk to you for that one too.
Yeah, you'll be back. Yeah. I would, that'd be fucking pretty vicious. You did the first 2. You're obviously a huge fan. And they're like, sorry, man. No, I can't have you back for the third one. Fuck you. You'll be back. Yeah, great game. You mentioned that you stream this. So go ahead and
I do. Yeah, so I do stream on Twitch, Stpd Mnky on there. I'm sure Adam will post at least the screen name there. It's usually a couple times a week, and it's usually in the mornings because I do it after I get off work in the morning. So I'm probably going to hop on for a couple hours right after this, actually.
Beautiful.
Doesn't help anybody listening, but
Yeah, this was a week ago when we recorded this, but still. Feels good to finally be back at the point where I'm getting these episodes done more than a day before they go live. So fucking professional. Good shit, buddy. Thanks as always for doing this. Good talking to you. Thanks for teaching me a little bit about the gods. And at some point, I'll see you for God of War 3.
Absolutely, buddy.
That is going to do it for this week's episode, Stupidest of Monkeys. Thank you so much for giving me a call and talking some God of War Part 2. Shout out to my boy Adam for sending me the game all these years ago that I finally got around to playing. Sorry it took so long. And every single one of you nerds listening to this, whether it was your first RTG, your 356, some other random number, thank you so much for giving us a chance. I know there's a lot of retro gaming shows out there, and that so many people roll the dice on ours. That melts my heart, and it pays my bills. So I'm double grateful to you. Thank you all so much for the support. Leave us a nice review. If you didn't hate the show, I'd really appreciate those. I do read them. I do touch myself sometimes while I read them. They make me feel good. And the positive reviews offset the negative ones that complain about the intro and my swearing and how dumb I am. So positive reviews better than bad reviews. Thank you so much for doing that. And of course, don't forget to check out our Patreon if you want to support the show and get a whole shit ton more of these things. And I mean it. There's about 300 expansion passes, 250 some game patches, a couple hundred rambling idiots, and 126 Purple Monkey dishwashers waiting for you over there right now the minute you sign up. And 356 Remember the Games with no ads, with timestamps. You can just skip the intros, only listen to the intros, whatever you fuck you want, with 5 new episodes going live every week. Plus, you can write into the show, get on the show, get a shout out, get into our Discord, vote on the games we cover, and so much more. Patreon.com/Remember the Game. We'd really, really appreciate it. I've been streaming a little bit lately, so don't forget to check out my Twitch. Oh, yeah, and of course, check out Stpd Mnky's Twitch. You'll find that link in the description of this podcast, along with all my links. I've been on Twitch again lately. Started playing Mario Odyssey over there. Finally got my retro console set up to go from my CRT TV to my computer, to the internet, to your screen. So I can play some of my retro stuff on there. Going to try to get more active, so hopefully you can come by and check me out. I don't ask for subs or anything. It's free. You can just come by and give me a hard time, and we'll be friends. Millie, we got anything else? No, she just wants to go outside. I think that's everything. I think that's it. We're going to thank some patrons and get out of here. Thank you all so much for listening. Next week is the first Wednesday of the month, which I traditionally skip. I would say, so I'll tell you right now, I'm either gonna skip the first Wednesday of December or Christmas Eve. And I know most of you would probably prefer I skip Christmas Eve, so you got an episode to listen to next week. It's going to depend on how fast we can get the recordings done. But there will be 4 episodes in December, okay? We're going to be talking Batman Arkham City, We're going to be talking Simpsons skateboarding. We're going to be revisiting Donkey Kong Country, which we haven't talked about in almost 320 episodes. And we're going to wrap the year up on New Year's Eve with BioShock 2. Should be a fucking gooder. So, yeah. Come back for those. Check out the Patreon or don't. Whatever you want. Leave reviews or don't. Whatever you want. Take it easy. I'm going to thank some patrons and leave. Cheers. So long. Goodbye. Remember, the game is brought to you by our Patreons. I couldn't puke up all this content every week without all of your support. To the following people are at the senior executive vice president level or higher, and if I don't give them their shout-outs, they will get mad at me. So we're just going to go oldest to newest this week because I forgot to take my pills, and I want to keep it easy. So a huge Remember the Game thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer, Slick Motherfucking Rick, Makeshift Mellow Magic Money, Sharonic, J Nasty 15, Jort King Keegs, Dissect That Dan, Doug Dorn, Chris Flurry, Andrew Wright, Jordan Ellis, Millennial, Lil Bane, Fufu 89, Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, JSK Fusick, A-Town, Morgan, Zane Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Mercury 869, Wolfgang Darren, Andy Hudson, Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squint, Steen Donian, Jeff Bergeron, Randy Barrage, Just a Fish, Bruno Dundridge. Nice. That's a good pull. Shout out to who gets that reference. Holmes, Zach Shepard, Captain Black Silver, 333, Chucker 22, Elijah Burns, Madam Nutsich, DBXJ, Steve Dulk, Bitch Ass Brian, Mizuru, Juris Dr. Mario, Tyler, Phil Lencher, Joe the Sandman, Northern, Jake Carter, Laces Out Dan, Growlywog, Beaver Boy, Thomas Smith, Leroy Westrich, Dark Squall, Russia's Dog Walker, Stud Still Smash, Matt Babanu, Gabe, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon, who isn't a surgeon row, Blaine the Hoagie, who isn't a hoagie man, Scary Terry, Storm Beagle, Archangel Otaku, Earl Hagel, Waffle, High Plains Drifter, Jimothy, Oroku Saki's Gardener, Fill Up My Coda Blaze with Farts, General Fury, I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General, Max Lagroom, James Juan Francesco, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Stpd Mnky, Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude, Walter Sleeper, Hit, Squeak Nuts, Isaias, Hits Meals, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Musty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, Timothy Zabriskie, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry. What the fuck? Are we having an earthquake right now, or is that just my dryer? Holy fuck. I think it's just my washer and dryer are just on the other side of this wall. My fucking floor is shaking. Am I maybe I'm just shaking. Maybe am I having a stroke? No, wait, I'm in love. No, wait, it is a stroke. Anyway, shout out to who gets that references. I'm all over the fucking place now. Fuck, now I don't remember where we left off. God damn it. I'm looking for the okay, I know I did jokes about him. Okay, so we'll go from there. Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude, Walter Sleeper, Hit, Squeak Nuts, Isaias, Hits Meals, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Musty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, Timothy Sabrinsky, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry, Quiet Place Queen, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat, Tadpole, T-Bear 87, Maverick, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Monster SD Boner, AB Killen Works for Me, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Alex R, please refrain from tasting the knob, Scotty J, Just Car Prank, Zombie Exy, Bartman Forever, Darth Skywalter, Postman, Adam Martinet, The Big Deal, Ryan 4664, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Pee Wee Squitters, Nordak, Leroy Jenkins, Lord Palmerston, Beers of War, Because 19, Infinity Rage, Marcus Mendoza, Lord Longrod, Von Hugendom II, Roger Staubach, Spool Cleaner, Lucas Shaman, Frosty Bear, Sour Goat Face, Faded Suffrage, Chris Hill isn't scared, that could be anyone's ass, B Money, Penguin Milk, Followed Snow Kiku, The Supreme Chozo Rizzo, you son of a bitch, why? Tell me why. E-Man Trucker, Mark Sneed, Shoeboxers, Adam Blank still has a review of Mario Galaxy, Jay Callahan, Robbie Air, Brian Richmond, Texas size shoutouts, Texas. Bula, Mad Zeus, Too Much Karma, Mopey 36, Cesar, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Liquor Like Luigi, Cody Thompson, JR Bob Dobbs, Bob Sacamano, my bad. Mr. Jabroni, Big Daddy Randall, Ida Yellow, Ryan Whitcomb, Justin Tate, Smelly, Seagull Sack, Thrill Ho, Toby O.P., Scotty McGee, Alex McIntyre, Spider Cat, Eric Hopewell, Darbles, generic name 238, Fondulm. Oh, Fondle me, Fondulm. It looks like Fondulm. Fondulm. You can fondle me, Fondulm. That's cool. David Schroeder, Muncal, Diablo Spartan, Justin Blair McCracken, Wilco VOS Rager, Brother Retro, Conebread, Ocarina of Tim Rocks, Daniel Cook, Desiree, Super Cyan, Sefarioth, The Only Sean, The Grim Patron, MacGyver 88, Travis Sanders, Lord Salazar, Flater Flav, Erotic Onion Ring, Captain Asbury Juice, Sits with a Beer, Shut Up, Topher Love, Thunder Leaps, Legendberry, Jinxie 425, Akiris Network, Horror Wars Podcast, Jeff Leopard, Game Boy Ganon, Fancy Store-Bought Dirt, Steaming Wooly, Botfucker, Mikey Hag, Devin Collins, Cannon Fodder Games, Trooper Galactus, Exotic Chaotic, Just James, Spooky Dookie, Profound, Frank Preeves, The Okayest of Muffins, Landed Turquoise, Siegfried, Tyler Patchell, Handsome Major Angus, McZongo Esquire, Raph is my favorite turtle, not Donnie, Lindsay Lee, Jonathan Breyer, Redline Arrow Jones, George Swan King, Tiki Tiki, The $100 Kid, Ted Michaels, Chris Nethercutt, Davis Faith, Carl Not Garl, and Amanda Hugginkiss. Woo! Not a bad Ratchet shoutouts other than me worrying about an earthquake. I don't think it's an earthquake. No, it wouldn't still be going. And we don't get earthquakes here in Edmonton. It's a frozen tundra. Thank you all for listening, everybody. See you later.